This is owed to me. No one owes you anything. I don't owe you anything. The company doesn't owe you anything. Your parents don't owe you anything. You are here trying to get your license as young as possible to start getting a job, to start really helping your parents with the workload. Your parents have helped you for 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, 17 years. You're a few years from being 20. This means you're going to be out of high school, you're going to be going to college, you're going to have to be able to drive yourself back and forth. Your parents are trying to work another 10, 15, or 20 years and then retire young. Okay, they don't want to have to drive. Unfortunately, that happens sometimes because a lot of beginners just don't. Thank you for telling me this. Beginning your driving experience, earning your driver's license. This is, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Hey, thank you. All right, thank you. Someone looked out for me. Thank you, Andrew. You're going to be scheduled to drive first. So this is a privilege. It's a privilege to be enrolled in a driver's education class. It's a privilege to have a coach, someone who really cares about you, who wants you to learn, who's not going to clock your T if you make a mistake, who's going to help you learn from your mistakes, who's going to take you in those small, difficult downtown areas, who's going to take you on the freeway in the morning when there are a lot of cars, who's going to take you at night on the freeway, who's going to take you on busy roads. That is really important. I'm a parent too. I understand. I work. I'm tired. I could be driving you guys right now, but I made the decision to drive you on the weekend. I'm going to look at my schedule. And plus, I'm an educator too, so I got to balance my time. If I'm tired and exhausted, I don't do you any good. I don't do myself any good. I mess up in school. I'm messing up with driver's ed. My paperwork suffers. I've been through that. So what I learned to do is be balanced. If I want more students, I tell corporate, hey, I want 10 more. Are you sure? Boom, they'll open it up. I like it small, but in the summer, we are hitting it hard. Okay, so all states in the United States have some type of graduated licensing system. Basically, so you don't kill yourself, you don't injure yourself, you don't make silly mistakes, getting tickets, running lights, at fault accidents. That's why we have the graduated license. They wanted more parents to be involved. Okay, your parents are involved, but they have lives too. Maybe your mom or dad has a business. This business was given to them by their parents and their parents. The business comes first. Unfortunately, you're secondary. The business is paying for your beautiful house, the cars, your college. You're going to work. And there's no excuse. All right, I got to work, sir. I can't drive after school. I only can drive on Thursdays and Fridays, right? So I get that, but you got to make that commitment to drive, okay? And I understand because I have things I have to do after school. I have a staff meeting on Wednesday, and I understand those things, okay? So I don't try to cut it really short unless, you get sick, I get sick, the car breaks down. Those things do happen. um, Residents under 18 years old, that's most of you, okay? Pretty much across the United States. There's a three-step process. 3 steps. You're in step one. You're enrolled in a driver's education program. It's either 24 hours behind the wheel, 30 hours behind the wheel, 35, 40. Every state is different. You're going to take a state test. Do you remember the first day of class? You must download whatever driver must know, whether we're in Texas, Hawaii, Oklahoma, Maine, Nebraska, Oregon, California. It doesn't matter. You have to download whatever driver must know and read that. That is your foundation for learning. And if you don't read it, you're going to make silly mistakes and fail your driving test. Okay? Level one. This is our level one, but you can apply this to any state. New York, Hawaii, Michigan, Maine, Wisconsin, Kansas. Every state has unique things. Level one, in order to receive your level one license, you must be a resident. You have to live in the state. At our location, 24 hours of class, 6 hours behind the wheel, and 4 hours of observation. You're watching someone drive, you're in the back seat, you're not on your phone, you're not on TikTok, you're not on Instagram, you're not on YouTube, you're not looking at some cat video, even though they're funny. You are locking in and watching. Okay? Learn. Next, after you take your test, at our state, 80 questions. You got to get a passing score. In some states, it's 100 questions. You have to get a passing score. Other states, it's 125 questions. In some states, it's 150 questions. Okay? You have to have proof of your Social Security number. When you're born, you get a number from the federal government. That's a whole other situation. Okay? Or a letter of ineligibility. Okay? Or proof of legal resident. Because getting your license is the pathway to citizenship in the United States. So a lot of people want to get citizenship in the United States. And one way is to get your license. Next, you must show proof of legal residency. It could be a piece of mail with your name on there. It could be a bill. It could be your birth certificate. It could be a passport. You remember the questions we had the other day? Those were those questions. It all makes sense now if you were listening. Remember the second day of class, the first day of class, all these things I'm saying now, and us looking at this. You need to put your questions in as I'm going over this, okay? Before I go on to the next level, I'm going to finish this, and then I need you to put in a couple questions. Level 1 license allows you to drive with a parent or guardian who's over 21. If they're under 21, it won't count. The state feels like if you can get your license and you reach age 21, you should be able to coach, mentor, advise someone 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You get the idea, okay? Or older. You got to have 30 hours of supervised driving. Someone's got to be sitting in that passenger seat while you're driving. You got to have 2 hours at night, okay? You are required before you can take segment 2. So let's pretend this is segment 2. All of you will show me your hours. You have to have 30 hours to be enrolled in segment 2. You have to have 2 hours at night. I don't have a permit. I have some somewhere, but they're all digital now. You get a permit issue number from the state. Okay? And once you are complete, we would pass out your permit. I would dance, you would dance, your parents will hug you, I would hug your parents, woohoo, bye. But that's done. It's all digital now. It's quick, it's easy. Let's pretend Andrew is done. I turn in his test to the office. I turn in his drive card to the office. We verify his attendance on the roster. He didn't miss any days. He's all paid up. Within 10 days, Andrew's going to get a digital certificate. He can't drive on it, but he's going to get a digital certificate. Andrew and his guardian or parent with his birth certificate, social security card, a piece of mail need to go to the Secretary of State. Don't wait. Because once you get it validated, you need to start driving. There's an app called Road Ready. Okay? You don't need it right now because you're not eligible. It's an app called Road Ready. You put in your information, your name, date of birth, maybe your permit issue number. You push a button and you start driving. It measures the hours, just like an internal clock. But also they're going to give you a packet of information about new drivers, and you can write those things down. Okay? That's how driver's education companies across the United States validate that you actually have your 30 hours in 3 months. People can lie, but when did you do driver's ed? When did you finish driver's ed? You can't be done in 2 months. It has to be 3 calendar months from the day you go to the Secretary of State. So don't wait. I talked about segment 1. Segment 2, you're enrolled in the class. I teach segment 2. It's 3 days of class, no driving. We talk about crash avoidance, defensive driving, gift of life. This is in our state. Every state is different. In order for you to take your road test, you have to be 16, have 50 hours, 10 hours at night. If you pass segment 2, you have 50 hours, you have 10 hours at night, and it's all documented, and you're 16. You're eligible to take your road test the day you finish with segment 2, and you get your digital certificate. I've answered level 1. Now you guys put some questions in. I'll only put one question in about level 1. We're only talking about level 1. We're not talking about level 2. We're not talking about level 3. Each of you put in a question for level 1. Okay? You want to learn? Here it is. Put in a question for level 1. I'll have some of my coffee and get wild. Put in a question. Come on. Questions. I'm going to wait till I get questions. I need everyone to put in a question about level 1. This is your driving process. If I was a teen in 2026 and I have an instructor like myself who's friendly, who's hype, who can't wait to get you out, I'm like, I got a question. What happens if this happens? What happens if I move or my parents get divorced and my dad wants custody of me, but he loses custody and I live with my mom and it's in court. Well, that's kind of a weird situation. Your parent is your legal guardian, or maybe your dad lost guardianship, something happened, a legal situation. But you live with your dad because you don't want to live with your mom. Or you live with your mom, but you want to live with your dad. The court may have to decide who has custody of you. That's kind of a legal fight. Okay? So, or it could be your uncle or your auntie that both of your parents agree on that is a trusted or designated guardian. Okay? I'm on level 1 only. And these need to be level 1 questions. Okay, I'm going from the bottom. What hours are considered night hours? Dominic, when it gets dark. That's simple. When it's dark, that's night hours. Dark. Nighttime. Done. Nighttime is not afternoon. Nighttime is not early morning. Nighttime is when it's dark. 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Nighttime is nighttime. I'm just being clear and honest. And the fact that I'm clear and honest. What if you have one? What if you have more? What if you have more supervised driving hours than they want? That's great. Students who have more than the required supervised hours are going to be really good drivers. We want that. I want that as your instructor. I want you to be safe. Your parents are going to make you drive. Drive to Chicago. Okay. Drive down to Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to see your auntie. Okay. You're going to drive to Vegas. We're going to stay there a month. Really? Yes. We're going to go through Death Valley. Drive to California. You're going to do it in 3 days. I can do it in 24 hours. Your parents are going to make you drive 10 hours. Rest. Hotel. Chill. You're in the pool chilling. Posting pictures. Eat breakfast. Take a shower. Get your clothes on. Post some more pictures. You driving. A lot of parents who really want you to learn how to drive are going to make you drive deep, long drives. Okay? I'm not talking about a 15-minute drive. Most of you are going to drive to school and back home. Most of you are going to drive to school and to your job and back home. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months. It's an hour and a half per week. Let's pretend your mom has a business, your dad has a business. They don't really have time to drive you. Well, you need to talk to your uncle or auntie. If you're the firstborn, you're my favorite nephew. Uncle, you got time to drive me? You know I'm off Wednesday and Thursday. Come on. Let's go. I'll come and pick you up from school. I'll switch. You get in and drive. You'll drive for 2 hours. every other week. Your family needs to help you, because I talk to my students in segment 2. A lot of parents don't have the time. I'm just being honest. Parents don't try to clock my teeth. Is there a certain number of hours you have to drive on the highway? No. It says 30 hours in 3 months. It doesn't say anything about highway driving. You owe it to yourself to get on the highway. And if you don't, you're going to be scared. So you kind of answered your own question. If you just drive on streets and don't go to downtown areas, you won't feel comfortable. Downtown Detroit, downtown Chicago, downtown Manhattan, New York, downtown Atlanta, Georgia, downtown Houston, Texas. I've been to those places. If you don't drive in tight downtown quarters, you're going to have a panic attack. If you don't drive on the expressway with big semi-trucks, those Mustangs and Hellcats and Trackhawks, zoom, that slow grandma, that semi-truck merging out, and then you grip that wheel, you're going to freak out. So you are doing yourself a disservice. No, I'm sorry. Your parents are doing you a disservice, but not taking. I don't want to go on the highway, daughter. You make me nervous. Son, you drive too slow. Well, I'm nervous. Don't care. I'm tired. I really want to be here. Your mom is making me. That's what one parent may say. Oh, honey, you know I'm tired. I'm just doing this to get your hours in. You're like, thanks, Mom. You're supposed to care and love me. I do love you, honey, but you don't realize that I'm tired. Now, if you're going to be selfish, then you're going to have a problem with your mom and dad. And if you're going to talk sideways, you're going to have a problem with your mom and dad. I'm going back to questions. When will I start driving on the highway? We already talked about that. I'm being honest. Drive 5. We already talked about that. Try to think of a different question. I will always be honest. We already talked about when you go on the highway. Drive 5 or drive 4. Okay? And remember, you're in level 1. This is just training. That doesn't count towards your 30 hours. So if your parents don't take you on the highway, don't practice merging around big trucks. Don't practice in rush hour traffic. You'll never be confident enough to get on the highway. I'm just speaking truth. Does our permit work in every state? Yes, except for North Carolina. One of my students brought that to my attention. Okay? You got to read. If you don't read, you won't know. Reading sets you free. Just keep going. So we passed segment 1. You drive for 3 months. You don't wait for 3 months. You drive for 3 months. After segment 2, do we have to wait another 3 months? When is your birthday? When do you turn 16? How many hours do you have? That's the kicker. I'll say it again. You live with an adult, your mom or dad who birthed you. You look like your mama. You look like your dad. I look like my dad. My son, both of my kids look like their mom. I'm tall. My son is tall. They both look like my wife. Okay, they got my face a little bit, but they look like her. Okay. You have your parents' characteristics. I have a responsibility to provide a roof for my son and daughter. My wife has a responsibility. We have responsibility because we both work. We put our money together. We provide a home. Our son and daughter eat our food. We work. That's how it usually is. Okay. So my question to you and answer to you, when is your birthday? When do you turn 16? And when do you have 50 hours? I don't control that. It's not cut and dry. You can be enrolled in segment 2 and have 31 hours. You don't have 50. You can be enrolled in segment 2 and have 34 hours. You need 50. You can be enrolled in segment 2 and be 17 and have 31 hours. You can be enrolled in segment 2 and be 18. We're really not supposed to take 18-year-olds, but you want to take it to learn. So each of you have different birthdays. Some of your parents will let you drive whenever. Some of your parents say, no, only on the weekend. We're tired. You don't have good grades. You keep arguing. That's what some of your parents will say. Okay? Can you put your hours on paper instead of digitally? You can do either or. We live in 2026. Most things are digital. Your state test is not digital yet. It probably will be just before I retire in 2032. Probably. We meet in person. The state sends the driving school or me a secure code. Let's pretend there are 30 of you in the class. I get 30 codes. Your number, birth date. That's private information. We don't want that floating out in public. The driving school has it. They email me the roster, just like I have a roster with your birthday on there. Okay, I have this information. Okay, your parents have already scanned your birth certificate and that information in. It goes straight to the driving school. I would have to make copies of all this, get it over to the office, get it back. Do you understand how that's slow? This is different. Okay? Some states do have it on the computer. Amen. We do not. Okay? So that would cut down on 24 to 36 hours. Okay? Because I've got to get over to the main office. It's got to go into a mailbox or in the door. The mailbox could get stolen. Yes, they still. If you know what a mailbox is, put yes in the chat. What up, Lyndon? If you know what a mailbox is, put yes into the chat. Some of you don't know what a mailbox is. It's just who you are. So you got to put it. Now, I go over to the corporate office. I have students drive over there. Okay? I have students drive over. Like, we going to the office. Why? Don't you want to get your certificate in 10 days? Yes, 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 let's go. Okay? And that's a good drive. You have 6 roundabouts, 6 panic attacks, narrow roads. It's a good drive. And you get excited because I take pride in getting your paperwork done. You're like, thank you. You're so nice. I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to do. But you got to make the commitment to get it done. I'm trying to get you excited about driving. I'm trying to say, I can drive anytime. But some of you are like, no, I don't want to drive. I'm scared. So we're not the state. Gotta be careful what I say. The state has not rolled out those capabilities yet, but they hopefully will. It's 26 to 27, 27 to 28, 28 to 29, 29 to 30, 30 to 31, 31 to 32. Within 6 years, the state should have a digital process for you to go on your phone or on the tablet that is secure, that you can take your test. We're 6 years out from when I'm going to be done, unless I get something in a public school that will pay more. Okay? So it's easier that way. It saved a lot of time. I want to keep going with it. But if you have more than supervised hours, they want you to. That's a good thing. Can I drive? I already talked about that. You can drive in-state except North Carolina. We already talked about what are considered nighttime hours. Once you get your permit, can you only drive in the state of Michigan? You can drive anywhere you want except North Carolina. Can you take longer to get your hours? If you take longer to get your hours, you're going to take longer to get your level 2. If you take longer to get your level 2, you're going to take longer to get your license. The reality is some of you won't be ready, or you're shy, or your parents are nervous, or they're shy and nervous, and you have anxiety, or your car gets into an accident. I've had that happen. I had a mom or dad. One mom, on the way to her son's last drive, they hit a deer. Six weeks passed, the kid had to retake a week. They hit a deer. It happens. Anything can happen. Nothing is promised. An old lady could run a light. a teenager racing a Hellcat could broadside you. That happened to one of my students. Her mom had a Hellcat Charger, purple. A car cut through two semi-trucks and broadsided them. The mom was very nervous. The daughter was very nervous. That set them back. It was not the mom and daughter's fault. The mom loved her car, a purple Hellcat Charger. I'm like, oh my God, it happens. Tell me a story. When does night driving start? We already answered that. What happens if you don't get your hours in 3 months? You don't get it in 3 months. You won't be able to take segment 2. Look, I do 1, 2, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I do 12 or 13 classes a year. You should see me in segment 2 in 3 months. But the reality is some of you won't because your parents got into an accident, or you don't want to drive, or you got into an argument, or something happened at home. All of you won't see me in 3 months. Okay? Because life is life. Okay? So if you don't get it done in 3 months, you're going to be late getting your full license. Where we talked about what is considered at night. Is a letter to us a true item we can bring to prove? I don't know what type of letter you're talking about. It's got to be the seal of approval. It's got to be an official. It's got to be a transcript. You need to check with the Secretary of State. They would give you a list of approved documents. I'm not an official document advisor person. I'm a driving instructor. So that's a Secretary of State question. Good question. How does level 1 work at the 17-year-old? The same way. You drive for 3 months. You get your 50 hours. You can't get 50 hours in 1 day. You can't get 50 hours in 2 days. It's got to be over a time period. So it sucks that you're 17, but you got to have 50 hours. Okay? So you got to get your 50 hours over time. I like the questions. I like the question about the identification. I like the questions about digitally. That was good. I like the questions about segment 1, segment 2. I like the questions, does our work permit, does your permit work in every state, except North Carolina? One of my students brought that to my attention. Okay, that was good. Okay, let's go level 2. I like the questions. So hold on. Okay, bye-bye. You know your time. You have to keep track of your time. Corporate knows you're here. I'm not going to say, okay, your time is up. If you cut it short, then you're going to be screwed. Okay? All right, let's keep going. So now we're on level 2. Let's pretend all of you are 16 or 17 or 15.9 or 15.4 or 15.7. Okay? In order to receive your level 2 license, the individual has to be at least 16. This is to receive your level 2 license. Have had their level 1 for a minimum of 6 months violation free. You remember we went over this when we did day 1 and day 2. Now it's making sense. I know I remember it, but some of you don't. You got to pass segment 2. Some people do fail segment 2. What happens then? I'll see you next month. Another 6 weeks. Because I do 1 segment 1 class a month. There are 12 months in a year. So either I do 12 classes or 11 classes. Okay? And then, of course, spring break, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, all those good things. I have a life too. I like to play video games too. I like to do family stuff too. I like to build computers too. I'm looking at my computer over here. It's like, give me my video card. You paid all this money, 64 gigabytes of RAM, a 99X 3D. No, a 9950X 3D. That big boy chip, fast processing, water cooled. Okay, it's looking beautiful. My computer here is water cooled too. Yep. So, each of you won't be the age. Okay, so you got to have, violation-free segment 2, a minimum 50 hours of supervised driving. You can enter segment 2, but you got to have 30 hours. But what if I got 35? Well, you got to get to 50. What if I have 49? You got to get to 50. What if I have 38? You got to get to 50. What if I'm not 16? You got to be 16 and get to 50 hours. Okay? Each of you are different. All of you don't have your same birthday on the same day. That would be weird. I'm doing good. Oh, that's not for me. All right. So we're talking about segment 2. You got to have 10 hours at night. It's got to be with their parents or legal guardian. Okay? Level 2 license allows individuals to drive alone at all times except 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. The state doesn't want you to drive between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. You're going to fall asleep. You're going to fall asleep. You're going to fall asleep. Bad things happen after 10 p.m. People come out at night. Weird situations. You need to be home sleep. You don't need to be out 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. You don't need to be out. Well, what if I get caught? They're going to put you back to segment 1. Well, what if I get caught? They may say, bad, go home. Or they may say, you're on a level in between level 1, level 2. I'm going to write a ticket. Within 30 days, you're going to get a letter. You're going to have to go in for a hearing at the Secretary of State, and they're going to put you back to segment 1. Why would you risk that? But some of you will risk it because you think you won't get caught. Okay. You can only drive during the time frame if at least one of the following applies. You're accompanied by a parent or guardian. If you have a parent or guardian, you can drive to 11. You can drive to 12. You can drive 10 to 5 in the morning. You're going to be tired. If they're driving to and from work or a sanctioned to or from a sanctioned event, you get a letter from your school. Shaniqua is on the girls' basketball team. She has a late practice. It goes 9 to 10:30. She has to work. Her mom has cerebral palsy. She's a single parent. I would get a letter. Maybe the driving school might do it. Maybe your coach might get it on an official letterhead from the school. You keep it with you in the glove compartment. If you get pulled over, you show it to the officer. There are extenuating circumstances. If you are driving to and from an employer, let's just say you work at Chick-fil-A. One of my students, he works at Chick-fil-A. He's going to be a manager. He's going to have his own store. He's making money. They may say, hey, can you work a double? He says, thinking about that money. You're going to be down at 11:30. Ooh. Can I call my mom? Can you write me a letter on the official Chick-fil-A letterhead so I can have it? Why do you need that? I'm on a graduated license. I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, sure. So-and-so, he's an employee of Chick-fil-A. He is going to be working 2 days out of the week to 11:30. We know it's past his curfew. Would you please understand and not give him a difficult time? Manager signs it, you signs it, date it, keep it in the glove compartment. You're covered. Level 2 license also prohibits driving with more than one passenger. If you have more than one passenger, you're going to get in trouble. You mean, are they really going to stop me? I'm not making this up. Yes, age 21 or younger. So if you have your friends in the car, you are 44% more likely to crash with one friend. If you have two friends, you're 88% more likely to crash. If you have three or more, you're 144% likely to crash. Put in questions on level 2 right now. I'm being thorough. Questions on level 2. I have 28 minutes, and then you're going to be doing the work. We're going to show you some more videos. We're going to do some quizzes. Put in questions for level 2. It's right there in front of you. It depends on your birthday. It depends on your parents. It depends on when you get your driving. So you have to be a good person. You have to listen to your mom and dad. Honor thy mother, thy father. Fathers have a responsibility to be a good role model for their son or daughter. They should treat you with love and respect. If I want you to be a good adult, I need to model being a good adult. I need to show you love. I need to encourage you to get a job. I'm working. I need to not scream at you. You shouldn't be screaming at me. I need to treat your mom with love and care. I need to be a responsible adult because you're watching me. Same thing. If I'm a female, I'm not. I look like my mom. I need to work. I need to come home sometime and cook. I need to go get takeout and come home. I don't want to cook. I need to model what a young man or young lady is supposed to do for their mom or dad. I want you to be a good student, a good daughter. I'm pretending I'm a female. I'm trying not to. If I have a daughter, I need to show you how to be a lady. I need to show you to be strong. I need to show you, because I need to show you to be strong. You can open the door for yourself. I need to show you to stand up for yourself. Okay? So if I model those things, you're going to model and treat me and mom or dad or if I had a divorce and I have a girlfriend now, I need to not talk bad about your mother. Or if it's the other way around, if I'm a woman, I need to not talk bad about dad. Doesn't always work like that. I'm reading questions. Does the adult who is over 21 have to be your parent? It can be your guardian. It has to be a designated guardian. Okay? Maybe a letter. Okay? My mom and dad give permission to Uncle Brown, Uncle Black, to drive our son or daughter, because some police officers may say, "You're the uncle? You're the auntie?" Yeah, I'm the half auntie. I'm the brother's third cousin. What? Can you get into trouble if you were in a situation where you have to drive after 10 p.m.? You could always get in trouble. Trouble is easy to get into and hard to get out of. Okay? Well, I'm in an emergency situation. My mom is sick. I had to drive her to the hospital. There was no one there. Most of the time, officers will give you a break. But if you use the mom is sick excuse all the time, it won't work. But if you're not supposed to be driving, and you're driving, in some communities, they don't want to hear it, and you're going to get a ticket. Ignorance is no excuse. Always speak truth. You can get in trouble that you're not ready for, too. That's why you don't want you out at night. Real talk. Is there more information? Is there more information on Kelsey's Law, or is it that is all? There's a video on Kelsey's Law. We have to look at that. They show a little bit of that in the segment one, more of that in segment two. Am I allowed to use my company truck? Ooh. That's an insurance question. Andrew, I like how you thinking. Andrew be coming with those young adult questions. Andrew, you probably going to have to talk to your employer on that. I don't know. If you're driving a company truck, you should be covered. If you get a speed ticket, you get in trouble. The company gets in trouble. And they're like, Andrew, you got a ticket. And Andrew, you screwed yourself. Or, Andrew, you parked in the no parking zone and you got a ticket. So, Andrew, you're not the first to drive a company vehicle, but that's a good question. You got to ask your manager or ask HR. Or, hey, it's my family-owned business. Well, talk to your mom and dad. Talk to your insurance company. You're covered under that insurance umbrella. Great question. Let's keep going. I'm looking at your questions. With segment 2, can we drive ourselves after passing segment 1? With segment 2, can we drive ourselves after passing segment 1? You have to pass segment 1 to get to segment 2. And do we get our segment right after we pass it? You do get your segment 2 after you pass the test, after you have your hours, after your paperwork is turned into the office. It takes 10 calendar days. If you want a letter, does it matter what's it written on? No longer the manager signs it. It looks more official if you have a company letterhead. Just pretend you work at McDonald's. McDonald's has their own corporate McDonald's official Golden Arches letterhead. If you work at Burger King has their own official letterhead. If you work at Kentucky Fried Chicken, oh, I'm getting hungry. If you work at Kentucky Fried Chicken, you need to have an official document. Well, my manager wrote it on a napkin. Stop. Okay, so some of you are not understanding me. You need to have an official document. It needs to be an official letter from your employer. Anyone can write, I'm a manager of Burger King, and it's got grease stains on there. That's not real. Anyone can forge that. My dog can write that. She's smart. So you need to have it on an official company letterhead. Okay? After 50 hours are required, after 50 hours required for level 2, 50 hours or the 30 hours from level 1. Let's go back. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months. That's for level 1. When you get to level 2, you have to have a total of 50 and be 16. So you got to finish all of level 1 hours. You got to have 30 hours to get enrolled in segment 2. If you don't have 30 hours, you can't get enrolled in segment 2. In order for you to get your full license, you have to be 16 and have 50 hours. So if you don't have enough hours, you won't get your license. If you're not 16, you won't get your license. You have to have the hours and be 16. I love being clear. The truck question, very good question. You got to ask your manager or HR. Human resources. You can get in trouble if you're past curfew. So don't think you'll get caught because you're going to look all nervous. The police are going to light you up and then you're going to be like, Mama. Too bad. Level 3. In order to receive your level 3, you have to be at least 17, Andrew, have had your level 2 for 6 months, which he doesn't have yet. Andrew can't be free until he at least has his level 2 for 6 months. So Andrew, that just applies to you because you are the oldest. And that's a good thing. So you got to plan at least 6 months. And 12 consecutive violation-free driving. Level 3 allows the individual to drive without any restrictions. I'm checking time. I have 12 minutes. This is good. Animals. Can we get up to construction vehicles? See if everyone's still alive. Yeah. Charles looks like he's just dreaming. All blurry. Riley, you okay? Riley's like, I'm looking at my people. Is there any limit on towing trailers? I don't think there is. Are you trying to get your CDL? If you're trying to get your CDL, I believe you got to be 18. I don't know how close you are to 18, which I would definitely get. Because if you get that CDL, unlimited income, but you're going to be driving a lot of hours. You're going to be hauling loads, and then that's another test. So let's pretend we're all Andrew. He's about to turn 18. I would say, man, but first that CDL is, the test is not that expensive, but you're going to have to go to truck driving school. That's where it's $500, $750, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. He may be in a family situation. They know someone. He can get enrolled in the classes. He's going to learn to drive a big semi truck. It's a big deal. But once you get through that and get experience, Andrew can make $50K, $80K, $125K. Boy, do that. Do that. Do that. That's real. Because you're going to have unlimited income potential. I have a chauffeur's license. I could get a CDL Class 2 to be a limousine driver. Hey, do you still drive limos? I want one for my prom. Because my daughter got the stretch limo in high school. Each person, they paid $25. I asked the guy, would he take you? Just need a CDL Class 1. I'm like, oh. I can drive a limo on the side. Stretch limo. Try to park that bad boy. Try to back up. I crash, man. Like a stretch limo. But that's income potential. I know the company I'm in, start the process. We're pickup truck, towing closed trailer, open trailers. I'm not mad. I would still say, think about that CDL. That's the way to go. Okay, I just want to make sure we're still live. Right. Yes, okay. Gino's okay. He's like, we're okay. Hang in there. All right. I'm going to start from the bottom up. It's a lot. Look, I got 9 minutes. It's a lot. I want to talk about this because this makes more sense from where we are. Sharing the road. We got to share the road with pedestrians. Animals are unexpected. We got to share the road with bikes, motorcycles, e-scooters, commercial vehicles, school buses, emergency vehicles, work zones. Okay? I'm taking my time. My vocal cords are burning up. We're going to do some quizzes in a moment. So when you're driving, you're not driving just with cars. You're driving with emergency vehicles. If they approach, get over to the side. Remember what we did on Monday and Tuesday? Makes sense. Work zones. Unless posted, they're 45 miles an hour. Over 35,000 people per year are injured. This is across the United States. School buses, please, please, please. Don't get a school bus ticket. You'll make me cry. You'll kick me in my face. I'm sorry. Always give school buses extra space when traveling around them. When they come to a complete stop, when approaching a parked school bus with its red lights flashing. Whenever you approach them from the rear, you must stop at least 20 feet. I don't have a school bus ticket. I'm crying. How do you get a school bus ticket? Not aware. If you have a physical barrier, a physical divider, you don't have to stop. If there's no physical barrier, you have to stop. These school buses have cameras. You're going to get a ticket, $250. And if you get a second ticket, it's $500. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm sad. Commercial vehicles. Let's go back to Andrew. I'm trying to make that big money. Well, if you're going to make that big money, you got to drive that big vehicle. These vehicles are large and heavy, difficult to maneuver. You need to give them extra space. Most often when commercial vehicles make right turns or take part of the other lane. Mopeds, scooters, e-bikes. These vehicles must operate as close to the right as possible. You need to give them at least 3 feet. You can tell I'm getting tired. I'm dragging. I'm human just like you. It caught up to me. I had 2 grilled cheeses when I came home. It's wearing off. Type in what you have for dinner. Type in what you have for dinner. Come on. I had 2 grilled cheeses. I had my coffee from this morning. I don't want to drink a new one because I'll be all shaky and wild. Okay. Type in what you had for dinner. Orange chicken. Whew. Oh, whoa. I had 2 grilled cheeses, sandwiches. Boys were crispy. Type in what you had. We get to know each other. Okay. Motorcycles. They're usually better trained. Remember, a couple days ago, they take a test. Made it myself. Bicyclists. They are using the roadway. They have a right. They need to have a helmet on. They need to have a front light. They need to have a back light, which is red. They need to follow the rules. In a moment, I'm going to click to see what you have for dinner. Large animals. Deer everywhere. You have to watch out. We don't veer for deer. If a collision with a large animal is imminent, release the brake just before contact to lift the front of your vehicle. Because if you hit the brake, the vehicle's going to dip down and the animal's going to flip up over the car. The animal's going to flip up, come through the window. You're dead. The animal's going to go under the car. You're going to skid out of control. So are you please listening? Just before a crash is imminent, lift the brake so the front end will rise up. If it's down, the animal's going to go over the car, up on the hood, through the windshield, get stuck under the car, and you'll slide. Please remember this. And if you hit the animal, you have to wait for the DNR to come. You have to get a police report because your car will not be repaired. Well, I just wanted to go. Well, your car is smashed. You won't be able to get it repaired. You need to have a police report. Small animals, dogs, cats. My dog is trained. When I come home, she's excited. She's ready to come through the glass. That's Master. She does listen pretty well, but she's an animal. I don't want her to run out of the street. Because if you have a dog, put dog in the chat. Okay, I got 3 minutes. We're about to do some quizzes. You can tell I'm getting tired. That coffee wearing off. Those grilled cheeses wearing off. Okay, so pet owners have a responsibility to have their dogs on a leash. My wife told me that. Don't walk the dog without a leash. If she bites someone, they're going to take her, and then you're going to be upset. She's telling me the truth. She's had dogs before. My first dog. I'm like, I want you to be free. If she bites someone, it's over. Lawsuit. If she runs out in the street and she gets hit, you're going to be feeling bad. She's telling me the truth. But, sometimes guys got thick heads. They don't want to listen. She's right. Pedestrians, children, the elderly, and they are physically and visually impaired. Adults know better, but they're still going to walk out. And always yield to pedestrians. So it's broken down by pedestrians, animals, bicyclists, motorcyclists, mopeds, commercial vehicles, school buses, emergency vehicles, work zones. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. Landslides. That's like 3 days. Put in questions. Put in questions. Come on. We're going to see some videos. We're going to get into the next packet. I'm getting tired just like you. So I try to talk about an hour, and then the rest of the time you're going to be putting your stuff together. We'll do some quizzes. Keep it fun. I'll owe you a couple of videos. So once we put in the information, do a couple of smaller quizzes, you need to see at least 3 or 4 videos to show you, to help you, so you can become better drivers, right? And while you guys are working, I'll do my schedule so we can schedule some drives. Okay? If I don't get to it today, unless we don't rush. Today is the 4th. We don't have class until the 9th. Okay, so I like to try to schedule some drives. I'm just looking at my schedule, so we'll figure it out. Okay, so, I want to go through some quick question and answer. This is a good session. Fried chicken and potatoes. Yes. I haven't eaten yet. You're low on energy. Leftover tacos, that's what's up. You know that LeBron tried to brand the name Taco Tuesday, but he couldn't do it. Arby's, beef and cheddar, grilled chicken salad, a hamburger. Bro, you better eat now. Haven't eaten yet. You're looking tired. Mexican food, yes. Chicken noodle soup, always a standby. I only had a snack. I need more than a snack. Steak and potatoes, broccoli. Eating good. That's that real meal. Nothing yet from practice. I know you're tired. Burger. Dogs. Are there any legal consequences from hitting a deer? No. You should call the DNR if the animal is injured and you want, let's pretend your truck is not, or car is not damaged. You should call the DNR. The animal's injured and it needs to be put out of its misery. That's the correct thing to do, because impact with the car, that's a 4,000-pound car going 50 or 60, that's a big impact. If the animal looks okay and is still walking and you're okay, and your car's not damaged, maybe a bent fender, and it's an older car, keep moving. But if your car's like smashed and you need to call someone. What happens if you hit someone's pet? Okay, you should try to find the owner, because if you hit my dog, it's going to be a problem. I think most of you will agree. it's going to be a problem because people have cameras now. Yes, that kid in that brown truck. I know that brown truck. Ma'am or sir, your son hit my dog. She's injured. He failed to stop. I'm calling the police. I'm getting my lawyer. We're suing. Pain and suffering. This is not 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Everyone has cameras. Okay? You can't do that today. Everyone's got a camera. Little old lady. Ring doorbell is a brand name. If you have a camera or Ring doorbell, another brand, put yes in the chat. Put yes. Now my son said, Dad, you need to have a camera. That's just when I had my SRT truck. He's got his charger, came back from school. You need to have a camera. We're like, we're not paying no subscription fee of $30 a month for Ring doorbell. Because our neighbor showed us. You can see cats and animals walking around. But that's the norm today. Our neighbor has one. She got it installed. It's for her truck. It's right on the side of her house. It goes straight to her phone. No subscription. I could hook that boy up. It's charged by the sunlight. If you hit someone's pet, you should be decent and try to find the owner. Maybe it's got a microchip, or maybe it's got its collar on there and the address. Or maybe you take a picture and post it on Facebook. Hey, I'm in the area. I struck someone's dog. It is injured. You have a right and an obligation to get that dog to the vet. Okay? Well, I don't want to pick it up. It's struck. If my dog was hit and bleeding, I'm picking her up. I'm picking her up. I'm going to hug her. I'm going to get her to the vet. Are you kidding? She's in there right now. I'm not going to talk too loud. She'll know I'm under stress. Or hitting any animal. You have an obligation. Will you teach us more about taking our foot a little bit off the brake before? Yeah. When you stop, the front end dips down because all the weight goes to the front. Is there a fine for hitting an animal? You have to look that up. What happens if someone's moped hits us? Who's at fault? And Michael, we were driving. 3 kids on those hit because those e-scooters have instant torque. And you have kids who are 8, 9, 10, 11 going miles an hour. If they get hit, whoever's more at fault. Is it the person on the scooter or is it the car? That's a police officer question. I like your questions. Can someone charge you for accidentally hitting their pet? Probably so. I'm not an officer. You have to look that up. Tell me what you learned. Type what you learned. Type what you learned. This is a good session. Good learning. Good questions. I'm glad I took the time. I'm just getting tired. My 2 grilled cheese are wearing off. My little coffee is weak from this morning. I don't want to drink anymore because I'll just be like all hyped for the next 4 or 5 hours. Yes, the animals can cause lots of damage. Usually it's $3,000, $4,000 in damage. If you have a injured, you have to have a police report. And it's the ethical thing to do. If you hit someone's dog and it has a collar, usually the telephone number's on there. Call that hit your dog. I feel so bad. Okay? And I'm standing here with the dog until someone comes. Thank you for not leaving our dog. Okay? I mean, think about that. Okay? You need to get our dog microchipped because sometimes she gets nervous. Okay? A lot of people don't think ahead of those things. I like what you're typing in. I see a lot of learning tonight. I feel good about that learning. Okay, I want to see where you guys are. I'm trying to front load the class. Give me 1 second. Guys, I want to say thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Subscribe. I hope you learned a lot. Bye.